Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I'm doing the monthly art prompt challenge. This one is for June. And the colors that I spun on the wheel are periwinkle, wisteria, and yellow orange. Interesting combination. And, use what you have. Don't try to, don't go by to try to match the colors. Just do closest you have, which is what I'm doing, exactly what I'm doing. So the first prompt is add neon. There's also a spot where it says add pastel or crayon. So I'm kind of counting the tempera paint sticks as my crayon. I also have a light purple gel crayon, which I'll add later. That's going to count as my crayon as well. I didn't have yellow orange, so I'm putting orange neon down and then putting yellow over the top of it. So it's yellow orange. The blue, I didn't feel like it was quite the right color, but I'll deal with that later. Now, my words for inspiration were sodium, safari, and coast. I went with safari, and it said collage a magazine image. So I found this lion. The scribbles I made kind of looked like giraffe spots, but I couldn't find a giraffe. So I went with the lion. And I think in the end, because I cover up a lot with this magazine, in the end, the marks I make look more like a lion has clawed through something. That's what I'm going with. So I used matte medium to collage down this magazine image, and maybe I'd go with glue just on the back next time. This one I did the matte medium over the top as well. Well, I knew that one of the other prompts is add watercolor, so I knew that was coming up, so I wasn't sure if I was going to put it over the top of the magazine image, so I collaged the whole thing down, but I think it made the image of the lion a little more dull and not as bright, which I'm sad about, but you do what you do. Okay, I felt like my blue was too blue, so I did mix up some acrylic paint, and I'm going over the neon blue with this acrylic paint that is closer to the periwinkle that's on the printout. And I'm going by what printed on my color printer rather than what shows up on the digital image on my screen. So, yeah. And I'm just replacing all that blue, which is really funny too, because the add watercolor, I cover it all up again with watercolor. So how is everyone today? Is anyone doing this challenge every month? I think it's kind of fun. I hope you join me. If you do make one, tag me in it on Instagram. I'll see it there. That would be awesome. And my Instagram link is, I think, in the description box below. So you can check me out there if y'all want to. Alright, so am I done with that part? I think so. It's giving a little bit extra coating in some places. So I've changed it so that now the yellow-orange marks look more like scratches than it looks like patches. So I needed to add my purple, so I'm going around with just a little bit of white paint because I didn't feel like the purple would show up as purple over all the other colors that I have there. So I'm just going around the edge of the magazine image with some white. And then I'm going to go over that with the purple. I'm doing this the weekend before June 1st, and it's been a nice day. It's been really hot outside. We went around for Memorial Day this weekend to visit the cemeteries and leave flowers, and started out cloudy, but it got really sunny in the end. But luckily I didn't get sunburned. I try to avoid that. Especially after having melanoma and multiple surgeries to get rid of it. I don't want any more. No more spots. I'm very freckly as it is. I know this is probably boring. I just keep going around and adding a little bit of white. It's a little transparent. I just want to make sure that purple is going to show up. All right. And I'm just using that other side of the page as a place to wipe off my paint. All right. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just going around with my orange and yellow again, just to make sure those show up. I've been having a lot of fun with those tempera paint sticks. I actually saw an image on my vacation. It's not an image I'd want hanging in my house, but I really want to try and recreate it with because it looks like it was done with a color base, tempera sticks or gel crayon sticks, and then acrylic paint over the top. So I'm going to try and recreate it. Or something similar to it. I haven't decided. Okay, so the next one is the add the watercolor. So, and there's also add something metallic. So I am adding metallic watercolor. Is that cheating to do it all in one prompt? What do you think? Is that cheating? Because I did the watercolor because I thought it looked close to the periwinkle. And that's listed on here. I always thought periwinkle was a purpley color, but this one's definitely blue. Anyways, I thought it looked close to the color. And later when I saw them add something metallic, I'm like, oh, I did that. I don't have to do that one. Is that cheating? I don't know. I like how it ends up, and I don't know how I would add something metallic to what I added. So, to what I created. Okay, and the next prompt, I believe, is add dots. So I thought I would just take some white paint and create little dots on here. Kind of like the bokeh effect, if you've ever heard of that. It's like a photography technique where you can see white glowing spheres, so to speak. So I thought I would add some of that. And mine aren't quite as wispy, doing it with my finger, but and some of them might not necessarily be perfectly round either. But that's my dots. I did leave off one particular prompt, and that was journal your thoughts. I was gonna, and then I just skipped right past it, and then didn't go back to it. Like I realized it later that I hadn't done it, and I'm like, well, I don't really have anywhere I want to put that, so I put a quote on it instead. Oh, I decided I wanted to. I liked the white when I had painted around the edges, so I thought I would just use one of my white pens. End up using the fine brush tip. I'm cranking it up. There's like a little twisty thing to help the white paint come out. And it's a brush tip, so it's like a real brush, not like a rubbery thing. And I'm just going around the edges with that. I kind of liked how that looked with the white, so I kept it. I'm adding little lines. Some of them will get covered up here soon. I really like prompt challenges. I like trying to figure out what I'm going to come up with. And the ones I've been doing this year have been really fun. I've used all my prompt dice prompts, though. Now I've got I think I have a list of prompts somewhere else I'm going to have to go find for July. Because I don't want to use the same ones over again. And it would start to be repeating in July. So, all right. So the next prompt, skipping journal your thoughts, is stencil. And I remembered I had this stencil and it has these animals on it. So I went with the lion and I did yellow. I'm adding a little white to it to make it more opaque so the background won't show up. And I stencil it with this yellow. I later went back and added a bit of an orange watercolor over the top. You'll see that in the photo so that it's more of a yellow orange rather than the bright yellow you see me stenciling. Because I felt it was too yellow and it needed to be the yellow orange. This is a really flimsy stencil. I've had it for quite a while. But it works. It looks like a lion, right? I actually go around with a pen. Just to help the outlines stand out a little bit more. I tend to do that a lot, put outlines on things. I do have this sped up, but I decided I would speed this up a little faster because outlining and adding the quote take a while. So I thought it would be best if it went a little faster. All right, so the quote I put on here is, "You know you're truly alive when you're living among lions." It's the only thing I could find that kind of went with the lion thing. And the lion goes with safari because you see those on safari, right? So I felt like I fulfilled the words for inspiration. Or at least one of the words. You don't have to use them all. Even though sometimes I have. And the words, I just use a random word finder, so you never know what combination of words you're going to get. I thought sodium, safari, and coast were kind of funny together, but I couldn't come up with it, so all three elements. But maybe you will, and you'll come up with something really hilarious, and you'll have to share it with me so I know. So once I get the lettering on here, I decide it needs to have the white outline because some of that lettering is really dark on there. So I do go around it with my white pen. And, oh yes, there was one more prompt, which was ink the edges. Well, I didn't want to use, the typical ink the edges, the ink pad and the sponge or whatever. So I decided I was just going to use the Posca, which is paint rather than ink. I guess it's kind of cheating. But I went around the edges with that because I didn't think the ink, the edges would really fit what I did here. So that's my cheat on that one. Decided that tip was too thick, or too much paint came out at once. So I can do a fairly decent thin line if the paint doesn't all come out at once. And I couldn't just do the stuff on the magazine image. I just felt like it would feel incomplete, so I'm going through and doing the whole thing. And obviously this is not from experience because I do not live among lions. So we're just about done with this one. I want to thank you all for watching. If you are participating, let me know. Would love to see what you create if you're up for sharing. And yeah, 22 Club, this one's a short one, relatively speaking. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me and you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching and I hope you have an awesome day.